Ooh, what's good? Welcome back to the 1776 Report, the #1 YouTube channel for exposing the stupidity of the woke left. We got some breaking Bud Light news. They are continuing to plummet, continuing to crash. The sales numbers are in the toilet. They are no longer the #1 selling beer in this country. But first, before we break down the Bud Light news, I want to talk about Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks. He came out last week. We covered this. He called all Bud Light boycotters a-holes, told them that they're not welcome in his new bar that he's opening in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, Bud Light, Garth Brooks, they're both finding out the consequences of going woke. He is saying that country music fans, country music listeners are 100% not with Bud Light. Country music fans are not going to go woke. They're not going to put up with it. And now they're throwing away Garth Brooks' music. They're burning his records. And he found out the hard way. During this apology, we'll take a look at his apology. He doubles down. Garth Brooks doubles down and flips off his fans, country music fans, and those boycotting Bud Light. Let's take a listen.
Let's address two things on it. One is diversity. Inclusiveness. That's me. It's always been me. We got the same kind of thing on We Shall Be Free. People, wanting to burn our stuff. And so I get it. Everybody's got their opinions. But inclusiveness is always going to be me. I think diversity is the answer to the problems that are here and the answer to the problems that are coming. So I love diversity. All included. So all are welcome. I understand that might not be other people's opinions, but that's okay, man. They have their opinions. They have their beliefs. I have mine. Second thing, though, let's talk about being a bar owner. I'm a bar owner now. Are we going to have the most popular beers in the thing? Yes. It's not our call if we don't or not. It's the patrons' call, the bosses, right? Bring them in there. If they don't want it, then I got to go to the distributors and say, hey, man, your stuff's not selling. And then the action gets taken, right? But the truth is, it's those people in those seats that make those decisions. And that's what Friends in Low Places is going to be.
That's a bunch of BS. First of all, when you talk about diversity, if I'm running a business, I do not want my business to be diverse at all. And I'm not talking about race. I'm not talking about sexual identity, gender identity. I'm not talking about religion, any of those personal identifiers. I don't want my business to be diverse. I want to have the smartest, the sharpest, and the best producers that make my business the most money. And I don't care if they're white, black, gay, straight, Muslim, Christian. I'm going to hire the best. Don't care about race. When you start hiring people based on their race, based on their sexual identity, that's when this whole woke stuff gets out of control. And Garth Brooks has always been woke. Take a look here. He's got a gay pride lapel that he wears at a lot of his music performances. And Garth Brooks says, oh, I don't make the decision of what beer is in my bar. That's up to the patrons. Well, the patrons have already spoken. Bud Light is plummeting. Their sales numbers continue to plummet. That is statistical data. That is a fact. Your personal woke agenda cannot compete with statistical facts, Garth. I hate to break that to you. Garth Brooks has always been woke, though, and we have evidence to back that up. He sang at Biden's inauguration. Take a look.
Garth Brooks now will perform.
And I thought, oh, maybe Garth Brooks fell for Biden's fake promise that he was going to be a uniter. He was going to unite the country. So he decided to sing at Biden's inauguration. But that's not true. Garth Brooks was woke in the 90s. Garth Brooks was woke before it was cool to be woke. In 1992, in the wake of the Los Angeles riots, Brooks released a song, We Shall Be Free. The song imagines a world where people are free of hunger, homelessness, homophobia, and racism. Garth wanted to sing this woke song at the Super Bowl. And those who were putting on the Super Bowl said, nope, you can't do it. This song is too woke. He had a music video that he wanted to play that had members of the KKK burning flags, burning a cross, violent incidents, starving children, and a bunch of gay pride flags all over this music video. So the Super Bowl said, no, you can't do that, Garth. Garth pitched a woke hissy fit like liberal Karens usually do, and he stormed off. He stormed off and left the Super Bowl. Garth Brooks has been woke since 1992. He sung for Joe Biden's inauguration. He does not understand who his fan base was because I believe his fan base has gotten much smaller after calling the Bud Light boycotters a-holes. And then he doubles down. He doubles down and says, hey, you want to come to my bar? You better be respectful. You better sip that Bud Light. You better stick that Bud Light bottle halfway down your throat like I do. Bud Light and Garth Brooks have gone completely woke, and Bud Light's paying the price. Garth Brooks is also paying the price. Bud Light is no longer America's top selling beer after the boycott. Bud Light sales, according to the data, is down about 27% year over year. Modelo sales are up about 10% year over year. So that is a 37% difference. Modelo has overtaken Bud Light as the top selling beer in the United States. And I just want to backtrack to the fake, phony apology that Bud Light made when this first jumped off. We never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people. We are in the business of bringing people together over a beer. And I was just thinking about this the other day. If Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch had came out initially and said, we apologize, we did not approve this message. This was a woke vice president of marketing that put together this marketing campaign. We apologize to our consumer base. We do not stand with this woke propaganda. And in order to apologize, we are donating $10 million to a cause that will keep biological men out of women's sports. I honestly think they could have slowed the bleeding. They could have stopped the bleeding, and this whole thing might have gone away, but it's not going away. Bud Light is getting demolished. It is not salvageable unless they sell the company to Yingling or another American-owned company. And individuals like Garth Brooks, who want to continue to push this woke propaganda, this woke agenda, this trans ideology, are going to learn the lesson the hard way, just like Bud Light did. And other companies are taking note. What we are doing is actually serving a purpose. It's actually getting something done, and it's changing the narrative. It's taking the woke narrative out. Now, the woke narrative is still around. It's still going strong, and we still have to keep our foot on the gas pedal, keep the pedal to the metal. But the Wall Street Journal is reporting companies quiet diversity and sustainability talk amid culture war boycotts. A review found that companies' mentions of green and social initiatives during earnings calls have fallen off sharply in recent quarters. Go figure. Shareholders might be more interested in what the company is doing to make money. Companies have an obligation to their shareholders. They have a fiduciary duty to make those who invest in their company money. And Bud Light, they messed around and they lost about $20 billion. Now shareholders are telling the executives of the companies that they're investing in, we do not want you pushing woke propaganda. We want you focused on making us money, and that's the way it should be. You should have a product that your customers, your consumers want to buy. You market to your consumers. If your consumers are like Bud Light's consumers who have traditional American values, then you do not flip them off. You do not stab them in the back. Bud Light, Target, and a new era of corporate caution, limits New York Magazine. In that article, political scientist and management scholar Daniel Diermeyer warns companies. I think this is really treacherous territory because there are so few issues right now where there is consensus. The temptation to lean in on political debates is non-trivial, but it can really come back to bite you. These companies are learning a lesson. The Bud Light boycott is working. It is doing its job. We are teaching these woke corporations a lesson that they need to learn. Corporate America is staying quiet on anti-trans bills, bemoans Axios. That article quotes former North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory, a Republican who said that when it comes to social issues like guns, gender identity, and abortion, it's just a lose-lose for them to get involved, and they're going to now stay in their lanes. That's exactly where businesses and corporations belong, in their lane. They don't need to be left. They don't need to be right. They need to be focused on making their shareholders money and not pushing a political narrative. The Union of Starbucks Workers claims that the chain has banned Pride Month decorations, but the company denies the charge. This Bud Light boycott is absolutely changing the way companies push their political narratives. They're staying out of politics more and more. Now, the job isn't done yet. The war has not been won. There's still so many woke companies pushing a woke agenda, but they've learned their lesson. They are learning their lesson, and now hopefully they'll stay out of political issues. They'll stay out of woke issues. And if we see another company delve into the deep end on some of these woke issues, then we have to teach them a lesson. But Bud Light, they are learning their lesson, and all these other companies that have gone woke, Garth Brooks, Target, Nike, they're learning their lesson as well, and that's what we have to do. I love you guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Hit that like button. It really helps spread the word, helps spread the message. Until next time, peace.